A la derecha.
Buenas noches, profesor. Ernesto Ortega para Extrema TN. Dos preguntas rápidas. ¿Qué tan grave es la elección de Maxi? Y segunda, ¿se imaginaba que Nashville los iba a presionar tanto y no les iba a permitir controlar el balón?
Bueno, buenas noches. Lo de Maxi no sabemos, es muy reciente. Tendrá que hacerse pruebas, ojalá que sea lo menos posible. Pero bueno, sinceramente, él es un jugador fuerte y que tenga que salir es porque algo tiene. Ojalá que sea algo relativamente, o de alguna manera, algo relativamente leve y que pueda recuperarse pronto. Y el partido sí, lo imaginábamos, porque hace 3 meses atrás vinimos a jugar una eliminatoria de playoff y nos jugaron de la misma manera. Es decir, Nashville es muy fuerte de local, empezó muy fuerte la temporada, está en un muy buen momento, pero creo que en líneas generales nosotros también supimos contrarrestar a ellos. Fue un partido de presión contra presión, porque la realidad que también nosotros presionamos arriba, en muchos momentos del partido logramos robar alto, y creo que, bueno, como decíamos entre semana, es una eliminatoria pareja que se va a terminar definiendo en el segundo partido.
Acá a la izquierda.
Sorry if you already answered this in Spanish, but you've played Nashville a few times now in
Yeah.
BJ Callahan. What are your thoughts just on the team as a whole and how it's set up tonight specifically?
No, I told him that they are a great team, in a good moment, because they start the season in a very high level. So we knew that it was going to be difficult to play here. We had the memory from the playoff games, that when we came to play at Nashville was very, very difficult for us. So I think we did well. We could do better, but we did well. We were defending high, pressing high, so we didn't give time to them to build up. And normally they did the same with us. They tried to press higher. They tried to take time. So we know, or we were talking about during the week about the this stage was going to be very, very tight. So we have to wait for the next week to to see what can we do and try to through to the quarterfinal.
Acá atrás.
Buenas noches, Javier. Claudio Villalobos para Nashville Total Sports. Ya dijiste claramente que esta serie no está igualada hoy, sino desde mucho antes, ¿no? Aún así los equipos han mejorado en los personal que tienen, jugadores, tienen más y mejores jugadores, aunque parezca mentira.
Sí.
Igual pasa con Nashville. ¿Qué tiene que suceder? ¿Qué variables tienen que darse para que, digamos, en el caso tuyo, se lleven la serie?
Bueno, creo que este tipo de series va a estar en los detalles. Al final, cuando son series tan igualadas, donde dos equipos compiten como compitieron hoy, cualquier detalle te deja adentro o cualquier detalle te deja fuera. Creo que dependerá mucho de eso, dependerá mucho de la intensidad que juguemos en nuestra casa. Claramente nos hubiese gustado convertir algún gol para tener alguna ventaja, también con el tema del gol, pero bueno, fue importante no conceder. Al final, en nuestro pensamiento es tratar de ganar el partido en casa para poder pasar. Está en nuestras manos y trataremos de hacer todo lo mejor posible para poder pasar el miércoles que viene.
Allá al fondo.
Hola, buenas noches.
Hola.
Con todos estos partidos de torneo contra Nashville, ¿piensas en ellos como un rival para ustedes?
Sí, sí, bueno, lo he dicho, es un rival durísimo, creo que es un equipo que está en una gran forma, de hecho está líder en la conferencia del Este, eh, un equipo que no perdió todavía, bueno, que todo lo bueno que hizo la temporada pasada creo que hoy le ha agregado algunos jugadores puntuales que han elevado su nivel. Pero bueno, nosotros también tenemos lo nuestro. Creo que el equipo nuestro ha competido muy bien hoy. Hemos estado muy bien en la parte defensiva. Las situaciones que nos han generado fueron en transiciones por alguna pérdida, no por cómo defendimos. Creo que defendimos con intensidad, defendimos alto y sabíamos que si a Nashville lo dejábamos jugar íbamos a sufrir. Por eso creo que dentro de cómo se dio el partido, era el partido que esperábamos. Creo que los dos equipos intentaron sacarle tiempo al rival, tratar de incomodarlo y bueno, al fin y al cabo creo que a los dos nos resultó el plan, ¿no? De tratar de incomodar al rival.
Vamos acá.
When it came to tonight for Nashville's number 41, Warren Madrigal, the forward, it seemed that Nashville would spread your defense, your back line out a little more wider. What did he pose for a difficulty towards your team tonight? And then after he was subbed off, it seemed as if your team tactically kind of had something change. And what was that?
No, Nashville, maybe they can change some names, but they still playing in the same way that they played the last season. Normally they play with two wingers that like to come inside, one striker like Sarric and Mukhtar as a second striker moving to the wide area. So we knew them. We knew them, and they know they know that. So when the game finish 0-0, is because both teams were thinking about how to disturb in attack to the opponent. So at the end, we were playing in the last 3 months 5 games. So normally you start to know where can I stop them, and they know how sometimes stop us. No, so we will see the next week. Normally, when we are strong when we play at home, we want to play in front of our fans because we didn't at the moment. So at the end, will be very, very great night for us. So I try to tell to the fans coming to the stadium, because we need the fans also to through to quarterfinal.
Vamos con las últimas dos por Zoom. Michelle.
Hola Javier, es Michelle. Hola, si puedes hablar de la actuación de Dane Sinclair esta noche. Tenía 3 o más jugadas grandísimas. Si puedes hablar de la actuación de él y cómo él está adaptando al grupo. Gracias.
Bueno, primero contento por Dane por haber mantenido el arco en cero. Creo que era importante, obviamente, para la eliminatoria, para el equipo y también para él. Sé lo que significa para un arquero que no te convierta en goles. Creo que tuvo una gran actuación como el gran arquero que es. Es decir, cuando se fichó a Dane sabíamos que estábamos fichando un jugador internacional. Claramente nosotros tenemos un estilo de juego donde muchas veces al arquero no le llegan demasiadas veces, pero las pocas que le llegan tienen que responder. Y bueno, él está también adaptándose a eso, ¿no? Pero en líneas generales lo vi bien y nada, hay que seguir. Creo que en líneas generales el equipo, obviamente tenemos cosas por mejorar, pero el equipo hizo un buen partido, sobre todo en el orden defensivo, de impedir a Nashville que juegue cómodo. Nunca es fácil venir a jugar acá, nosotros lo sabíamos de antemano. Y bueno, ahora a esperar el miércoles con nuestra gente, a ver si podemos cerrar la eliminatoria y poder pasar a cuartos de final.
Última pregunta. Vamos
Gracias.
con Martín.
Hola Javier, buenas noches. Martín O'Donnell para Bola VIP. Quería preguntarte por el estado de Luis Suárez, cómo se encuentra. Se había perdido el viaje a Orlando y bueno, pude ir al banco el otro día, yo también. ¿Cómo está él y si hay chances que pueda sumar el sábado? Gracias.
Luis sí está bien, ha entrenado normal y sí, está disponible para jugar. Hoy por diferentes situaciones creíamos que no tenía que ingresar, pero no es que tiene alguna molestia ni nada por el estilo. Ya está 100% recuperado y seguramente en los próximos partidos tendrá minutos.
Thank you. That concludes tonight's
today?
Yeah, I think for us, we know this is a 2-game series, and so I thought from a defensive standpoint, we were solid and organized, and I think difficult to play through. Doesn't mean we didn't have some moments that we need to be better, but difficult to play through. And again, you always judge your performance and did you have enough chances to potentially score a goal? And I thought, that was just kind of the missing piece. But yeah, I think we created enough quality chances. So for us, I think we walk away pleased with the performance and the result. Still know that we have a few things that we need to work on, but no, at the same time, not completely satisfied, and know that we've got a big second leg here coming up.
Javier Mascherano, we just asked him, and he said these two teams know each other, obviously, from playing against each other. And he said that both teams kind of know how to stop the other team. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've played each other 6 out of the last 10 games if you go back to last year or something like that. So, yes, I'm sure they're sick of watching video of us and and doing things. So, yeah, but we have great respect for them. They make us, when we have to prepare for them in different types of games, whether that's regular season games, playoff games, now CONCACAF Champions Cups, doing that work and competing makes us better. And we're going to obviously learn and take some things away from this game and go again.
We go. Claudio, then Ben.
BJ, I asked Javier the same question because, like you say, and he said the same thing, that you guys know each other so well that it's difficult. But what is it going to take for BJ and his team to go and conquer Miami, just to put it out with those words?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, it's about keeping them off. They're a highly talented team that can score. So first and foremost, it's making sure that we can keep the chances limited, and keep trying to keep them the best we can off the scoreboard, and just being a little bit, maybe a little bit more clinical, but also maybe a little bit decision making when we get our chances. When really good teams play each other, it's not, back and forth and chances everywhere. So you got to take your moments and seize your moments. And I thought for the most part, we got ourselves in good positions.
How much can you share about your thought process when you ask Eddie and Will to come in the game?
Yeah, I think for us, it's a team effort to kind of make sure that the level of intensity and stays up. And so for us, I think, those are two guys with big engines. They're not only are they skilled, but they cover a lot of ground, and as you kind of fatigue, like, I think they give you a good boost. And I think that's what we were sort of looking for, was a little bit of the fresh legs in that midfield to keep the entire intensity of the team up.
We'll go Ben, then Lucas.
BJ, you've talked in the past about not being afraid of playing young players in big games. Matt and Reed obviously getting two pretty big starts in a big game. What did you make of how the two of them played?
Yeah, and I'd also like to throw Warren in there. I mean, he's 21 as well. Again, I think first and foremost, when you say you're going to do things, you have to do them, and that gives the group confidence. That's how you grow confidence. So first and foremost, if you say things, you got to back it up with action, and as a club, we're doing that. When you look at the performance of those guys, I think they passed the eye test. I think they did a really, really good job, and I think not only did they do a good job, but they were able to do a good job playing like at their level, like, and who they are as a player. They didn't have to change themselves. Reed was Reed, Matt was Matt, comfortable on the ball, hitting good passes, screening the back line, and so I think that's also important, is that they were able to be the player that they were tonight, and that should give them confidence moving forward.
And you've talked about just some of the missed chances, but it felt like there were some really good moments kind of breaking that first line of pressure and getting into the open field. What did you like about kind of those moments?
Yeah, I think, again, they're I can't say enough how they're a good team. They're a combative team in a positive way, right? You have to win your duels. You have to be strong on the ball. You have to be willing to, sacrifice your body a little bit. But I really like that we were able to change the tempo. So we were able to sort of maybe build in a slower way, but then when we were able to lay balls off or break the lines, the game sped up, and that's what I thought was really good, and was able to kind of keep a positive acceleration to the tempo, leaving the midfield and into the final third.
Go Lucas, then Nick.
Felt like Maxwell was making his presence felt at the back, breaking the pressure with his dribble, pumping up the crowd. How much did tonight's performance with him specifically kind of encapsulate everything you guys saw when you were wanting to bring him in?
Yeah, I think when you look at him and the whole back line, like, these are big games, and you got to win individual battles, but you don't have to do it individually. And so I think when you see that collective back four, they were a hard group to break down tonight, whether that was spacing behind, winning duels, 1v1 defending against dribbling. And so I think you can see a group, when you see Maxwell pumping up the crowd, it's because they love to defend. And that's, that's what it takes to try to get results and win these types of, aggregate type of games, is, you're going to have to do some of the dirty work, and guys that embrace that's I think that's a real tribute to them.
And a quick turnaround, obviously, in Columbus on Saturday. What do the next 2 days look like for your group? And understanding you haven't completely dove into Columbus yet, what are you expecting from that challenge this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, again, this is being a good team and playing in multiple competitions. This is what you got to do. You got to turn it around. So we'll be back in tomorrow morning. Guys will be recovering, guys will be training, and we'll go back out and put the best group we can versus Columbus, who I think is when you watch them, they're a very dynamic team with their pressing, with their interchangeability with the ball, and so them playing at home, there's always a real good crowd with like good intensity to the game. So we expect another typical hard fought MLS road game.
Go Nick, then come up to Jacob.
BJ, when it came to the defense along with Maxwell, it just normally in games past, you mentioned the last 6 of 7 games, Inter Miami tend to kind of, their bread and butter, especially with Messi, is at the top of the 18. They try to find some open space and get a shot on net. It seemed like tonight your team, along with Maxwell, Yazbek, Corcoran, and so forth, they tend to get a foot in there and or just break up the monotony of just the possession of play. Was that an emphasis this past week in practice at all, or is that just natural to the system?
No, I think for sure. I mean, anytime we're game planning, we have to respect the opponent for the things that they do really well, and that's what they do. But again, I talk about there's an element of being better individual defenders, which I think we saw tonight, and then there's the element of collective defending and creating density in and around the ball, and that allowed these guys to make individual big plays. So from the team collective, I thought we did a really good job of in dangerous areas of the field, trying to get numbers in that area.
And then you mentioned about Warren's performance earlier, but especially just his hold-up play. There were a few off-the-ball moves to where he would kind of have his back to goal, but yet he's not touching the ball at all. It's same surge with the overlapping run. Just your thoughts on his performance when it came to that specifically, and just how the team performed after that.
Yeah, I think you see from Warren that through his upbringing, he has strength against big physical defenders. And so I joke about him when he's down at Saprissa, he has to go up against Kendall Waston every day. So there's nobody bigger or stronger than Kendall. But you see that even if he doesn't touch the ball, he's able to really attract the opponent. And then if you're going to give him space, he can run out wide. And if you want to, he can run behind. So being sort of having multiple threats in his profile, I think it keeps teams off balance.
BJ, how important is it to be going back to Florida in this series without allowing any away goals for Miami? And I guess how much do you in a two-legged tie like this, how much do you run down potential scenarios for advancing for what that leg will look like?
Yeah, I mean, I think for us, I thought it was a really professional performance. We know that this is only leg one, so we're not overly high or low about the result, but what it does is it allows us to go down there next week with it's an extremely clear pathway, right? Exactly what it takes to advance, and not only that, but we believe that we then can control that, where it's not maybe a different scenario out there that things have to kind of break a different way. Like it's a one game. It's just one game right now. And when the time comes, we'll refocus and prepare for that.
Nary.
PA. First things, congratulations. You did an amazing job with the team today. Also with the blocking, Messi was amazing. But you say when you come in, like you are not 100% satisfied with the game today. And also my second question is, do you think the weather doesn't help to Sam can finish making the goal?
Listen, I think for us there's elements in the game that we can be better, right? And we're not a team that's ever going to look for excuses. We're going to be a team that continually evaluates, reflects, refines on what we do, and hold ourselves to a high standard to make sure that we're better. And whatever the game demands from us, whether that's weather, the opponent, the score, whatever, we want to be able to respond to it. And we'll continue to get better. Again, we're still really early in this sort of journey.
Kendall, do you have anything? Okay, we'll go to Lauren in the back.
BJ, you mentioned earlier Miami might be kind of sick of watching film on you guys. I'm curious if you individually, as well as maybe your staff, kind of revel in the small details of gathering more intel from this match against an opponent you've played so many times and kind of trying to find those little holes to out-strategize them for the second leg?
Yeah, I mean, I think you give credit to Miami of they're constantly adapting and they're constantly changing things. So we look forward to always having to review it and game plan against it, and it's fun. This is why we do what we do. We want to play in big games, and we want to continue to be challenged, and because those challenges help us grow and get better. And we know in the short term, coming off of this game, evaluating it's going to get us better, but it's also going to pay dividends as we kind of move through the next 9-10 months here. So, you know, it's just for us, it's a motivating challenge to have to continue to improve, to kind of navigate our way through this tournament.
All right, thanks, Coach. Thanks, guys. As a reminder, we'll now have
Buenas noches, profesor. Ernesto Ortega para Extrema TN. Dos preguntas rápidas. ¿Qué tan grave es la elección de Maxi? Y segunda, ¿se imaginaba que Nashville los iba a presionar tanto y no les iba a permitir controlar el balón?
Bueno, buenas noches. Lo de Maxi no sabemos, es muy reciente. Tendrá que hacerse pruebas, ojalá que sea lo menos posible. Pero bueno, sinceramente, él es un jugador fuerte y que tenga que salir es porque algo tiene. Ojalá que sea algo relativamente, o de alguna manera, algo relativamente leve y que pueda recuperarse pronto. Y el partido sí, lo imaginábamos, porque hace 3 meses atrás vinimos a jugar una eliminatoria de playoff y nos jugaron de la misma manera. Es decir, Nashville es muy fuerte de local, empezó muy fuerte la temporada, está en un muy buen momento, pero creo que en líneas generales nosotros también supimos contrarrestar a ellos. Fue un partido de presión contra presión, porque la realidad que también nosotros presionamos arriba, en muchos momentos del partido logramos robar alto, y creo que, bueno, como decíamos entre semana, es una eliminatoria pareja que se va a terminar definiendo en el segundo partido.
Acá a la izquierda.
Sorry if you already answered this in Spanish, but you've played Nashville a few times now, and
Yeah.
BJ Callahan. What are your thoughts just on the team as a whole, and how it's set up tonight specifically?
No, I told him that they are a great team, in a good moment, because they start the season in a very high level. So we knew that it was going to be difficult to play here, and we had the memory from the playoff games, that when we came to play at Nashville was very, very difficult for us. So I think we did well. We could do better, but we did well. We were defending high, pressing high, so we didn't give time to them to build up. And normally they did the same with us. They tried to press higher. They tried to take time. So we know, or we were talking about during the week about this stage was going to be very, very tight. So we have to wait for the next week to see what can we do and try to through to the quarterfinal.
Buenas noches, Javier. Claudio Villalobos para Nashville Total Sports. Ya dijiste claramente que esta serie no está igualada hoy, sino desde mucho antes, ¿no? Aún así los equipos han mejorado en los personal que tienen, jugadores, tienen más y mejores jugadores, aunque parezca mentira.
Sí.
Igual pasa con Nashville. ¿Qué tiene que suceder? ¿Qué variables tienen que darse para que, digamos, en el caso tuyo, se lleven la serie?
Bueno, creo que este tipo de series va a estar en los detalles. Al final, cuando son series tan igualadas, donde dos equipos compiten como compitieron hoy, cualquier detalle te deja adentro o cualquier detalle te deja fuera. Creo que dependerá mucho de eso, dependerá mucho de la intensidad que juguemos en nuestra casa. Claramente nos hubiese gustado convertir algún gol para tener alguna ventaja también con el tema del gol, pero bueno, fue importante no conceder. Al final, en nuestro pensamiento es tratar de ganar el partido en casa para poder pasar. Está en nuestras manos y trataremos de hacer todo lo mejor posible para poder pasar el miércoles que viene.
Allá al fondo.
Hola, buenas noches.
Hola.
Con todos estos partidos de torneo contra Nashville, ¿piensas en ellos como un rival para ustedes?
Sí, bueno, lo he dicho, es un rival durísimo, creo que es un equipo que está en una gran forma, de hecho está líder en la conferencia del Este, un equipo que no perdió todavía, que todo lo bueno que hizo la temporada pasada creo que hoy le ha agregado algunos jugadores puntuales que han elevado su nivel, pero bueno, nosotros también tenemos lo nuestro, creo que el equipo nuestro ha competido muy bien hoy, hemos estado muy bien en la parte defensiva, las situaciones que nos han generado fueron en transiciones por alguna pérdida, no por cómo defendimos, creo que defendimos con intensidad, defendimos alto, y sabíamos que si a Nashville lo dejábamos jugar íbamos a sufrir. Por eso creo que dentro de cómo se dio el partido, era el partido que esperábamos. Creo que los dos equipos intentaron sacarle tiempo al rival, tratar de incomodarlo y bueno, al fin y al cabo creo que a los dos nos resultó el plan, ¿no? De tratar de incomodar al rival.
Vamos acá.
When it came to tonight for Nashville's number 41 Warren Madrigal, the forward, it seemed that Nashville would spread your defense, your back line out a little more wider. What did he pose for a difficulty towards your team tonight? And then after he was subbed off, it seemed as if your team tactically kind of had something change. And what was that?
No, Nashville, maybe they can change some names, but they still playing in the same way that they played the last season. Normally they play with two wingers that like to come inside, one striker like Sarric and Mukhtar as a second striker moving to the wide areas. So we knew them. We knew them, and they know they know that. So sometimes when the game finish 0-0, is because both teams were thinking about how to disturb in attack to the opponent. So at the end, we were playing in the last 3 months 5 games. So normally you start to know where can I stop them, and they know how sometimes stop us. No, so we will see the next week. Normally, when we are strong when we play at home, we want to play in front of our fans because we didn't at the moment. So at the end, will be very, very great night for us. So I try to tell to the fans coming to the stadium, because we need the fans also to through to quarterfinal.
Vamos con las últimas dos por Zoom, Michelle.
Hola Javier, es Michelle. Quería hacer, hola, si puedes hablar de la actuación de Dane Sinclair esta noche. Tenía tres o más jugadas grandísimas. Si puedes hablar de la actuación de él y cómo él está adaptando al grupo. Gracias.
Bueno, primero contento por Dane por haber mantenido el arco en cero. Creo que era importante, obviamente, para la eliminatoria, para el equipo y también para él. Sé lo que significa para un arquero que no te convierta en goles. Creo que tuvo una gran actuación como el gran arquero que es. Es decir, cuando se fichó a Dane sabíamos que estábamos fichando un jugador internacional. Claramente nosotros tenemos un estilo de juego donde muchas veces al arquero no le llegan demasiadas veces, pero las pocas que le llegan tienen que responder. Y bueno, él está también adaptándose a eso, ¿no? Pero en líneas generales lo vi bien y nada, hay que seguir. Creo que en líneas generales el equipo, obviamente tenemos cosas por mejorar, pero el equipo hizo un buen partido, sobre todo en el orden defensivo, de impedir a Nashville que juegue cómodo. Nunca es fácil venir a jugar acá, nosotros lo sabíamos de antemano. Y bueno, ahora a esperar el miércoles con nuestra gente, a ver si podemos cerrar la eliminatoria y poder pasar a cuartos de final.
Última pregunta.
Gracias.
Hola Javier, buenas noches. Martín en el Parabola VIP. Quería preguntarte por el estado de Luis Suárez, cómo se encuentra. Se había perdido el viaje a Orlando y bueno, pude ir al banco el otro día y hoy también. ¿Cómo está él y si hay chances que pueda sumar el sábado? Gracias.
Luis sí está bien, ha entrenado normal y sí, está disponible para jugar. Hoy por diferentes situaciones creíamos que no tenía que ingresar, pero no es que tiene alguna molestia ni nada por el estilo. Ya está 100% recuperado y seguramente en los próximos partidos tendrá minutos.
Thank you. That concludes tonight's